Hello and welcome to your reading Pisces sign. In today's reading, we're going to look at everything about your year of 2023, all the lessons you're learning, blessings and opportunities coming your way, and some specific messages for love and career. Let's start off with the very first card that we have for you, which is card number one, the Mother. So, this card is, there's a lot of different messages that come with this archetype. The main message that I see here for you, Pisces sign, is that you are giving birth to a new idea, a new project, some new invention, innovation, or on whatever scale it might be. There's definitely some idea that you might have already, it might be going on in your mind, or maybe you've spent a lot of time thinking about something. There is something that you're really nurturing, like we see that, in a nest, there is something that's about to burst open. There is this idea or this project that's going to come alive really soon, but right now it might just be in your mind, and you're waiting for the right opportunity to release this to the world, to show this to everyone else, to show everyone what you're capable of. But whenever there is a new idea or a new beginning that we're waiting to step into, it might like it might become a little bit difficult to know what is the right amount of protectiveness that you should have over it. Sometimes what happens is that there are great ideas that we have in our minds, but we wait for a moment that it'll be perfect, that we've completely perfected that, so that we can fully show others what we're capable or of, or to um make that idea much more concrete and finalized. And that is the sense of balance that you need to have, that what amount of protectiveness can you have over your ideas. For some of you Pisces signs, you might actually still need some more time to work on it, to work on whatever idea, project, this huge thing that you have in mind before it can become real, before it can happen in your life. For others, there could be a message that maybe you are holding on to it too tightly, or you are having some unrealistic expectations about how perfect it should be before you work on that, before you release that. And for others, I'm getting this sense that maybe there is this idea that you have, or something that you want to bring about in your life, but there is some feelings of, am I capable enough to do it, am I worthy enough to bring that into a life? And using that as a metaphor, or this archetype of the mother, mm, for mothers, and especially if it's a first time mother, there is no matter how many books you read, how many guides you go through, or you try to train yourself, but it's nothing like the actual experience of being a mother that can prepare you for that. And similarly, whatever this change, this innovation, this beginning, or this project that you want to bring into your life, or something that you want to do, but there are these feelings of, am I skilled enough, am I competent enough, and you are waiting for that moment when you're fully ready to bring about in that in to bring that about in your life. So you just need to remind yourself that sometimes it's the actual experience of doing something, of bringing something into your life, or even sometimes of making mistakes, that helps you learn the best way to move forward. So, with that overall energy, let's step into your tarot reading, Pisces signs. The very first card that we have for you is a summary of the previous year and what has happened in your life. And the card that we have for you is the Wheel of Fortune, card number 10, which again comes down to number 1, and especially with the Mother card. So, for you, Pisces sign, the year of 2022, I see that there is definitely this wheel imagery of, something is turning in your mind. There are a lot of these ideas that are brewing in your mind. You're just thinking about them, you're contemplating, and you're waiting for the right moment to launch it, to release it, to maybe to work more on the idea that you have in mind. And especially with the Wheel of Fortune being here, and the idea of a fortune, it gives me a very strong message that whatever idea you have in mind, whatever change you want to make, something that you want to work on, that is going to be the source of fortune for you in your life. There is this skill that I see that you possess, these capabilities and capacities that you have, that can truly turn this wheel around and turn a situation around completely in your favor. And that is something that I see that this year might have taught you that you have certain skills, you possess certain talents that can bring about this fortune in your life. And it might have happened very unexpectedly, because the wheel of fortune is always about there is something that is there in your fate, something that is destined for you, something that you are meant to experience or go through in your life. And somehow, some way or the other, it enters your life and it gives you a new sense of direction. So this card is all about going with the flow, gauging situations how they are, what you can do with the resources or the opportunities that have entered your life, and then use them to turn your life around, turn your situation around. And just this circular image of a wheel, and even the mother card with this nest here, I'm seeing that you definitely need to have a balance of how much can you have faith in this situation, in this idea that it's going to really help you and turn your life around, and how much are you being, that balance of being realistic with it, but also knowing that you are allowed to dream and have these bigger ambitions, and knowing that somehow everything will follow into your path, it'll land into your life, and it'll give you the desired outcomes that you want for yourself. So with that, let's see that with this transition, with this unexpected situation or blessing, whatever that might have been, that has landed into your life. I want to actually focus on the symbol of the books that we see here on four corners of the wheel of fortune. So for some of you, this idea could be something to do in your career, in your work related, in your professional aspect, or it could just be something that is right now, it's just in the planning stage, and you're just thinking about how can you perfect it before you release it to the world. So now let's see what lesson that you've learned from this entire situation. And the card that we have for you is the Eight of Wands. So interestingly, this Eight of Wands energy is about aligning your plans, your actions in a way so that it's all focused and it's all going in one direction before you can move forward. So this Eight of Wands tells me that after this unexpected change or opportunity in your life, there were a lot of ideas that started running into your mind, that I could do this, I could do that, I could solve this specific problem in a certain manner, and there are all these answers that came for you, or right now you have all these multiple options to choose from. But this Eight of Wands comes here as a message to, like, instead of being impulsive about it, or instead of being too jumbled with your ideas or thoughts, this card is about knowing how you can align all your plans into into this manner where you can take all the right actions to get you where you want to be. So again, taking as an example, for example, there is this idea that you have about a certain project or startup, a business, something in your career, something that you're currently doing in your life, or maybe for some of you it could be a creative passion that you want to turn into a career. So whatever this situation is for you, so you've had all these ideas. So now Eight of Wands is about knowing the steps that you would have to take to get there, that this is something you need to take care of first, then think about this. So how are you going to market that idea, how are you going to plan for it, what is the business you're creating. So whatever that is in your specific situation, I'm seeing that there's a step by step plan of action that you need. And that is what maybe the past year that could have been your focus, or it could have brought this insight into you that you need this proper plan before you can move forward. And some of you might be waiting for this plan to be fully perfect before you take action. But as I said with the Mother card, don't keep waiting too long for that moment of, when will it be perfect to finally work on this, or to finally show this to others, or to finally work on this idea. This card, and this is a meaning for the Eight of Wands which I haven't ever thought of before, but we see all these wands that are at a specific level, but this one wand is still a little bit behind. Some of you might think that I will only take actions when all of them are aligned and when everything is perfect. But sometimes it's okay to at least take the first steps, or to initiate an action before you, like, not do not hold back too much to wait for that perfect moment. You can still start taking certain steps, maybe even if you're not releasing this idea to the world, you can still take some actions or keep working on it. And that's the main lesson or learning that I'm seeing. This has happened for you in the past year. Now with that, let's look at what the next 12 months or what the year of 2023 is going to look like for you. And the card that we have is the King of Swords. So now, very interestingly, this is exactly what I was talking about. The King of Swords is someone who is really meticulous in your planning, who is someone who takes charge of a situation, who knows what is the step by step action to take, someone who's really logical, planned, and intellectual, and someone who has this mental clarity about what to do next and really uses all their problem solving and analytical skills to move forward. And with this King of Swords here, I definitely get this sense of using all the resources that you have, using all your learning, and then putting those things into action to create a path for you to move forward. And I'm seeing that your intellectual strength, your capabilities of reasoning, problem solving, that is become going to become a highlight of your focus when it comes to the year of 2023. And interestingly, the card here also has these images of these butterflies on the top, and this image, it helps me connect with the idea of metamorphosis, that sometimes people on the outside might only see us as a cocoon and not that attractive, not that capable. Like a cocoon is not really seen as that beautiful of a symbol as compared to a butterfly. And maybe that could have been you for the past couple of while, where you hadn't truly stepped into your own power or stepped into your own talent, skills, and everything that you were capable of. But with this King of Swords, I'm seeing that when you take charge of the situation, when you create this plan of action for yourself, when you become aware of what all it's going to take to move to the next, to sort of move on to the next level. And that's when you're moving from this energy of a cocoon into finally blossoming into this butterfly, where you show your true potential, where you show others what you're capable of. And I see with the King of Wands that your mind, your brain, your intellectual capacities, and just your creativity, the way you see things, is a big strength and a big resource for you. So make sure that you keep nurturing that resource in this next year and whatever that you plan to do in the next year. And I'm seeing that you have that capability. So just make sure that you are connected with your own confidence when it comes to um, giving these plans, these actions a solid ground. Now, let's look at what's going to help you in this planning, what opportunities might come your way. And we have a Knight of Wands coming here. So, both the King and the Knight being here. So, like in tarot, we have these persona or these archetype cards that go from page, knight, queen, and then king. So, in the swords suit, we have the king, which is the most evolved version of this suit in the deck. But for the wands, it's still as the knight stage. It hasn't gone to the stage of being a king yet. So in tarot, the swords represents our mental capacities, our thoughts, our planning, and all of that. And when it comes to the wands, that suit is all about actual action that we take, physical action, or that passion, that motivation which allows us to put our ideas into action. So something that you need right now is maybe on the planning level, on the ideation level, you are really evolved and there are all these great ideas that you have. But maybe something that still needs a bit of working on is when it comes to putting these ideas into practice, or maybe needing that motivation to act on those ideas. And that's also what we see with the mother card, that it's great to have this pearl at the center and how valuable it is. But do you really think this pearl would be as valuable if it's just within this nest and if it's not taken out of it and put into a good use? And that's exactly what I see with your ideas also, that if you have this great mind and these great visions and plans, then is that really as valuable if you're not putting them into action? So that is something that you need to reflect on for the next year, Pisces sign. You need to make sure that you're taking all the right action so that you can make these dreams come, turn into reality for you, and truly step into this fortune that's going to enter your life once you master this craft of yours, master this idea, and bring that into the world. And now let's see what could be a potential blockage or an obstacle in your journey that you need to be aware of. And the card that we have for you is the Lovers card. So this card here tells me that Lovers is about our emotions, our matters of the heart. So with this Lovers card, this number 6 here, I see that we have a Swords card and two Wands card being present here. So it's addressing, and with the Wheel of Fortune, we have the four cardinal signs also being present here. But sometimes, what happens is when we are taking charge of an idea or of a plan, and then we also have the cards that represent action and passion in our life, but sometimes this element of emotions isn't adequately addressed, then that can also be something that holds us back on our journey. So the Lovers is about a sense of connection, and it doesn't always have to be in a romantic capacity. So for some of you Pisces sign, this card could mean that you are lacking that sort of an emotional connection in your life, which might be a reason that you don't feel as motivated to take the actions that you desire. For some of you, this could be about um, the shadow element of a lover, where certain connections or certain people or certain attractions might be holding you back from reaching your true potential or to carry out the plans in your life. And for some of you, it could be the quite opposite, as I mentioned, that a lack of this connection, a lack of a space where you can be emotional, where you can express your emotions, where you can be your own self and express yourself to someone else. If that is lacking, it could be through friendships, through family connections, or just a certain space or a situation where you can be really excited about your passions and share your ideas. And sometimes when we lack that, we sort of lose that confidence in our own ideas. Sometimes if you have that space where you can discuss your big goals and dreams and ideas, and if you have other people around you who also believe in those as much as you do, and they really hype you up and give you that sense of energy, that's when you feel so much more empowered to carry out those plans. But sometimes if these ideas are just in your mind, like you're just holding on to them strongly and not sharing them with others, it makes you, and if you've been holding that for quite a while, then you also eventually lose out on the idea of how much valuable that idea is. But if you share it with someone else, if you let other people know that these are the goals and dreams that I have, these are the things that I'm excited about, these are the things that make me feel so passionate. Because the Lovers, it can talk about actual relationships and lovers in life, but in a much more deeper sense, it can also talk about those things in our life that make us truly feel so much more passionate and connected, and it feels like we are closer to our purpose. So make sure that there are connections in your life, or you have that space in your life where you can share your dreams and ideas, and other people would also be as excited about them as you are. And sometimes it might feel there might be these connections in your life already, but you might not be as open or as vulnerable to share these ideas. So this card could just be coming here as a message that you are allowed to be open and vulnerable. You are allowed to have these big goals and dreams and visions and share those with people, and they will also reciprocate with that same energy, because the Lovers is all about mutual love and admiration and appreciation. So take that message as it resonates, Pisces sign. And the final card that we have for you is actually about matters of the heart and love and relationships, and what you need to know about and how that might look like for you, Pisces sign, in the next year. And the card that we have for you is the Four of Swords. So this card coming here tells me that, so there are a couple of different messages here. First of all, if you are single, or if you've really recently come out of a relationship, or maybe if love as a whole or relationship as a whole is just not a priority, then this there is a clear message about giving yourself a moment of rest and reflection and going inwards, and maybe learning to enjoy your own company for a little while, getting to know yourself better and getting to know your own desires, your own wishes, what are the things that give you joy, and just a moment of deep reflection and experiencing solitude from a new perspective. That yes, there is that aspect of solitude that brings about loneliness, but even in that solitude you get a lot of time to be yourself, to explore your own likes, dislikes, your own passions, your own ideas. And this card coming here in this position could be about, if you are on that journey or on that in that phase of your life where your focus is a lot more inwards and on your ideas, then make sure that you are learning how to enjoy your own company. And there's no right or wrong answer for that. It takes a lot of time to begin to enjoy your own company and to have fun in that solitude as well. And for others who are, if you're already in a relationship or you have a person in mind, in that case the Four of Swords could be about, if there are any recent challenges or conflicts that have happened, then in that case, instead of being too impulsive about it or being too rash in your decisions, this card could be about taking a moment to go inwards once again. And this the same message as I said earlier, to also get to know yourself a bit more deeper, that you cannot truly respond to other people's needs in a relationship when you don't know your own needs that well, when you don't know what your own values are, your own beliefs are, what do you desire in a relationship. And when you get to know yourself better, that's when you yourself will become a better judge of what kind of a person do I want into my life, what kind of a situation do I want to attract into my life. And if you feel that there has been a situation where your entire focus has shifted on your partner or their needs and desires, and you have been feeling a bit lonely in that relationship because it has become all about your partner and not about what you want to do or the things that you want to do, the aspirations that you have. So in that case, again, this card could be about just taking some time to, like we call it the me time, or giving yourself some space to recharge and reconnect. It could be about taking a vacation or doing certain self-care activities that just involve your own company, because sometimes when we give ourselves a little bit time apart, even from the closest connections that we have, that's when we get more energized to be better versions of ourselves in that connection. So take that message as it resonates at whatever phase or journey that you are when it comes to your love life and your relationships and connections in your life. And with that, let's go to the very final card that we have for you, which is the Angel Affirmation card and Pisces sign. The card that we have for you is commitment. You could maybe pause or take a screenshot if you wish to, if you want to read this card. But this card as a whole, commitment, it really aligns with what I've been saying so far about some vision that you have, some idea, project, innovation, whatever it is that's in your life. Stay connected to that. Keep reminding yourself of the value in that, and then it will eventually lead into something that gives you that fortune, that creates better outcomes for you. And as the card here says, that in angel wisdom reminds you that when you aim for a vision without doubt or deviation, it must succeed. So whatever idea or plan that you have in mind, and with the Eight of Wands, with determination, with perseverance, and if you keep working on it without any doubt, without any self-limiting beliefs, with no beliefs about I'm not good enough, I'm not competent enough. And if there are some of these beliefs that come up, then use positive affirmations in your life to challenge those beliefs and to remind yourself what you're capable of. So let go of any doubts that you have about your skills, about your capabilities, and also any deviation away from your path, or other distractions that might exist on your path which might hold you back from your true potential. And the commitment card also says that your guidance is to persevere towards your vision. Let every thought, word, and action be directed towards your desired outcome. Nothing is more powerful than focused energy, and the angels will see the pure light of your commitment, whether it is to a relationship, a piece of work, a journey, or anything else in your life. So, definitely have that sense of focus, that if you put your mind to it, this is what I want to achieve, then align your entire being, your whole focus towards that path. It could be manifesting a certain connection in your life, a piece of work, an idea, a project, something that you want to manifest, or anything else that you really want to put your heart and mind to. Once you do that, once you convince yourself that that is my focus, that's when even angels will respond to that focus of yours with light, and you will succeed in that situation. And the card also says that remember to ask your angels for help, and know when you dedicate your intention to the highest good, they will support you. So once you have convinced yourself that this is what I want to do, this is what I want to put my energy into, that's when you'll also have all the support around you that helps you to carry that plan, that action forward. And finally, this card, this is an affirmation that you could repeat for yourself, say it out loud, write it down, use it in your journal. It says, I am committed to my vision. So remind yourself of what this dream that you have, what is this vision, what is this big goal, this ambition that you want to work towards, and have that focus and commitment to keep working towards it. And overall, I see that the year of 2023 as a whole is going to be a very significant year, almost a turning point in your life, where you're stepping so much more closer to this vision that you hold dear to yourself. So, with that Pisces sign, I thank you so much for joining me for this reading. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post regular pick a card readings, and if you want to book a personal reading with me, all the details are in the description below. Wishing you a very happy new year and sending you a lot of love, light, and power. I'll see you in my next reading. Bye bye.